Hello viewers, welcome back to Vibing with Mr. Marvelous. Today's guest is Courtney. Courtney, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So Courtney going to share a little bit about herself. So Courtney, who are you and your background? And
Yeah, that's a big question.
absolutely.
So my name's Courtney Miners. I am a registered dietitian nutritionist. I have been practicing for 13, 14 years now. I'm originally from Bermuda. That's where I was born and raised.
Hello Bermuda.
Yeah.
Bermuda in the house and St. Lucia. So you got a lot of island people there.
Yeah, exactly. So I've been practicing for about 13, 14 years. My specialty when it comes to nutrition is PCOS, or polycystic ovary syndrome. So I primarily work with that population. And yeah, I love nutrition. It's my passion, and I love helping people, use food to kind of heal their bodies and prevent illness. So,
Fantastic.
yeah.
Thanks for sharing. What you do is very important.
Yes.
Especially nowadays, I believe nutrition is more important than ever before. Before we get deep into today's topic, nutrition. So viewers, today's trivia question: which food is the highest in vitamin C? A, is it red peppers? B, mushrooms. So which food is highest in vitamin C? A, red peppers, or B, mushrooms? We'll give you about 5 minutes to get your answers, gather your answers. We'll get back to that. So Courtney, nutrition. People hear the word nutrition. I hear the word nutrition. I'm like, is it diet? Is it what's nutrition?
Yeah, so nutrition is actually, by definition, the science of food, right? And I think people forget that just like you have biology, you have chemistry, nutrition is a science. It's a very, very huge umbrella term. And I think when people hear nutrition, they think clean eating, diet, well, what does that even mean?
Right.
So nutrition being the science of food, it's how we can use food to kind of treat illness, prevent illness, use it, in my field, as
right.
what's called medical nutrition therapy. So that's using nutrition as a tool to heal.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and only registered dietitians or physicians are allowed to do that medical nutrition therapy.
Which you are?
Yes.
For 13 years?
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Yeah.
Now, have you seen trends? So you registered dietitian for 13 years.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen any trends change from food to, let's say, your even clients, like the demand of your clients?
Yeah, so I would say right now, some of those kind of hot topics or things that my clients ask me about, definitely keto. That's a popular one. And fun fact, I guess, keto was actually developed in the 1970s.
That was my next question. What's keto?
Yeah, so keto stands for ketogenic diet.
Okay.
And basically it's a way of eating that helps to produce ketones in the body, which we would be using as fuel, as opposed to what we typically use for fuel, which is carbohydrates or glucose. So that particular diet was first studied in the 1970s, and it was primarily for children with epilepsy or children who have seizures. And what they found with the ketogenic diet, which is a very high-fat diet, they found that it mitigated those seizures, and it's used as a treatment. And even some larger hospitals today have neurological wings where they use ketogenic diets to treat kids with epilepsy. So that's what it was intended for, and that's what the research supports it for. However, like any other diet, things come in waves, and then it was kind of marketed as Atkins.
Right.
If you think back
yes,
then.
correct.
Now,
I remember that.
Yeah,
Atkins diet. Yeah.
Exactly. And now it's marketed as the keto diet for weight loss. So that's kind of the history of that one. So that's pretty popular right now.
All right.
But it's hard to stick to because it's very, very high fat, very, very low carb, minimal protein to low protein, depending on the type of keto you do. So it's hard for people to sustain it. Yeah.
It's high in fat, low carbs.
Yeah, exactly.
So you have to be pretty active on that diet to
Not necessarily, right? Because like we said, we have kids on that. And there are some smaller studies, more short term, that show how it can benefit certain conditions like PCOS, like obesity, but just in short stints. So we don't know what the implications are over a long period of time with doing that ketogenic diet. So,
Thank you.
Mhm.
All right, viewers, your time is up. Drum roll. You would like to share the answer?
Sure.
All right.
So,
Is it peppers, red peppers, or is it mushrooms?
so it's actually red bell peppers, rich in vitamin C. Yeah.
There you have it.
Yeah.
Now, is there any like health benefits to mushrooms? Actually, the last thing I saw was like a mushroom coffee.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Yeah, I drink that every day.
You do?
Yes.
Mushroom coffee.
Yes.
Okay, naturally, I've tasted coffee. I don't drink coffee.
Yeah.
I'm a water person. I drink water all day, every day.
Yeah.
About 1.5 gallons, 2 gallons, because I'm very active.
Yeah.
But when I heard of mushroom coffee, I'm like, huh?
Yeah. And
What's the flavor like? What's it like?
the coffee.
It tastes like coffee.
Yeah,
Do they
yeah.
infuse a
A mushroom. In
coffee flavor to it, or?
No, it's coffee infused with the mushroom.
Ah.
Exactly. Because I don't like regular coffee because of the stimulant effect. Like
Right.
I get a little jittery personally, but I like the taste of it. So the one that I have, it contains what's called reishi mushroom, and reishi is a plant that has been used in Chinese medicine for thousands of years. But it can help with things like reflux. It can help with blood pressure, cholesterol.
The mushroom coffee.
The mushroom.
Right.
that's infused
Okay.
in it,
Oh,
right?
okay.
Yeah, so it can help with sustained energy levels. So you get so many benefits by having the mushroom.
I might try a little bit. I
Yeah.
might leave a little bit.
Yeah.
Because my whole life I've been like, no. Actually, it's not just coffee. No energy drinks. No.
Oh, no.
I just strictly water person.
Yeah.
And sometimes, I do drink a little bit of vacation of alcohol, a little beverage,
Yeah.
adult beverage. Once in a while, I do mix it with soda sometimes. But apart from that,
Yeah.
naturally, I kind of try and stay clean. And
Yeah, and
healthy.
even coffee itself, right? Especially organic coffee has so many antioxidants in it, right? So it's anti-inflammatory. You do get benefits. I think a lot of times, especially in this day and age, people tend to demonize certain foods, put them in boxes as good or bad.
Right.
But that's not nutrition. Nutrition should be individualized, right? And if you like coffee, let's figure out a way to make it the right way for you.
But there is a limit, right? There is a balance.
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Okay.
And that goes with even vegetables. You can eat too many vegetables where it causes harm to the body. Same you can do with coffee or with cakes or pastries, right? So it's all about balance. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Talk about balance for a healthy, normal person. Because sometimes you have diabetic, you have different types of people.
Yeah.
For a healthy, normal human being, what is the ideal meal plan for the day? You would say,
Yeah. So
from
obviously-
morning to all day, throughout all day.
yeah. So in my work, it's
Yes.
all about personalizing things for the individual, right? Because I could have two people, your gender, your age, your size, your same medical history, but the eating plan would look completely different.
Very
Because
true.
you may have different goals, allergies, likes, dislikes, different culture, all of that. So it's important, especially as a practitioner, that I always customize for the people that I'm working with. However, if we had to kind of give some general guidance, definitely you can't go wrong by incorporating more produce or more fruits and vegetables into your diet. There's nothing wrong with that. However, there are conditions where you might want to limit that if you have any digestive issues or you need to go a little bit lower fiber. But plants and vegetables are rich in fiber. Most individuals, most people I work with, most Americans do not get enough fiber in their diet. And fiber is one of the best nutrients that we could add. It helps to lower risk for heart disease, lower blood pressure, lower cholesterol, stabilize blood sugars, increase insulin sensitivity, reduce risk for cancers,
Wow.
right? So
One of the top foods in
rich in
fiber.
fiber.
Yes.
So that's going to be all your fruits.
Okay.
Can't go wrong with those, especially berries. Berries are very rich in fiber. All of your vegetables, especially those cruciferous ones, so things like cauliflower, broccoli, kale, spinach, cabbage, right?
Yes.
Those are going to be rich in fiber. Your legumes, right, which are all your beans and peas, So things like lentils, black beans, chickpeas, you get tons of fiber from that. And then obviously things like whole grains. So we're talking quinoa, oats, you're going to get tons of fiber from those too. So trying to make, I would say, half your plate vegetables, right? When you're building your plate, a quarter of your plate, some source of lean protein. It could be tofu, it could be chicken, fish. And then the other quarter of your plate, some source of whole grain or bean, like quinoa or maybe sweet potatoes, some black beans, right? That would be the ideal, what we call healthy plate. So breakfast could be maybe some eggs, and maybe you throw tons of kale and mushrooms and onions in there. Maybe you have some blackberries on the side, right? Maybe for lunch, you have a sandwich with whole grain bread. Maybe you put some tuna salad, cucumbers, lettuce, tomato, loaded up with veggies. Maybe for dinner, you have some grilled chicken breast along with, I don't know, some brown rice and some steamed cabbage, right? So as long as we're getting more color at the plate and half the plate.
Lots of color.
Lots of color.
Lots of colors. You
Yeah.
saw those vegetables?
Exactly. You're on the right track. You're on the right track. And it's not to say, because a lot of people say, oh, don't eat anything white. That's a myth, right? Mushrooms, white. Cauliflower, white. You get tons of antioxidants in those.
So they gotta be more specific, because they're probably talking about the pasta, the white rice.
Right. So that's a
specific is the key.
Exactly. And even white rice, like, because if we're thinking about the Caribbean, right, we like our rice and peas, you know what I mean?
Yes, we do.
Right? But if you turn that into rice and peas as a quarter of the plate, you still have maybe your stewed chicken and then half your plate nice greens. That can still be a balanced meal, right? So there's always a way to make a food work for you.
Right, you can eat it, but not like every day.
Or not the whole plate, right? Yeah.
Love it. I have a confession. Courtney, apart from eating clean, she works out. She's a bad kickboxer. Like, I've trained her. So I hail Courtney. If you see her punches, don't mess with her. But I love training Courtney.
Thank you.
Very, very committed. Love it.
Yeah.
So some people ahead of me, they can't eat before the workout, or they have to eat something before they work out.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that? What do you do? Just curious.
Yeah. So for me, pre-workout, I will say sports nutrition or how you feel pre and post workout varies for the individual, because obviously our digestion is different. For me personally, I try to hydrate. That's number one before the workout. So within the hour,
You hydrate with normal water or like electrolyte at times, because there's a myth, or not myth, but there's a saying. I shouldn't say myth.
Yeah.
There's a saying that if you're gonna be working out in a hot sun, extended period,
that's different.
that you need
a little bit of electrolytes on board, and that's correct. So if I'm gonna go out for, let's say, an hour run in this hot Florida sun, then for sure I'm gonna have electrolytes. Or sometimes it's as simple as I'll just crack a little Himalayan salt and a little bit of lemon and drink that.
Wow, salt and lemon.
Yeah, but if I'm just working out in the gym for an hour, I know I'm not gonna be losing as much fluid. I'll have like a liter of water within that hour prior to working out. And then for me, a banana, because I know I'm gonna get the electrolytes from that, and some quick carbs to help fuel my workout. That's personally what I do.
Right.
But I definitely encourage people to hydrate within that hour to 30 minutes before the workout. And then it depends on what type of workout you're doing. If you're just going for a nice brisk walk, you probably can get away without fueling if you had a meal. But if you're doing something more intense, or if you're working out outside, especially over an hour's length, then you have to talk about fueling beforehand.
Fantastic.
Because you could run the risk of losing muscle mass, which you do not want to do.
Very true.
The worst thing.
So they're working out, they're trying to build muscles.
Yeah.
What do you recommend for muscle building? Those big guys. Without, like, some people, like, talking about steroids and all this fun stuff.
No. Yeah.
Natural food.
Yeah, exactly. And I wouldn't even say just guys, right? As women, it's very important that we, build and maintain muscle mass.
Ladies, are you listening?
Yeah, it's so important, because that's important for our bone density as we age, right? To help prevent falls, osteoporosis. It's also important for things like insulin resistance. So as we age, we're at higher risk for diabetes, for heart disease, especially being people of color, right? So having that muscle mass is very important. So when we think about building muscle mass, it's not protein, protein, protein. I gotta do shakes all day.
Right.
No, you can do it with food, right? But just prioritizing that protein with every single meal. If you think about like the standard American diet, which is the SAD diet, we're talking about people grabbing just a pastry and coffee for work.
Right.
Maybe they'll skip lunch.
Yes.
And then they'll just eat fast food for dinner, right? There's
Right.
no real good quality sources of protein in there. So eggs for breakfast, like we said, maybe tuna for lunch. Maybe you do a shake post-workout, and maybe you have your dinner, right?
Fantastic.
Yeah, but your protein needs will vary depending on your goals, your age, your gender, and all of that.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Another hot topic.
Mm-hmm.
I want to lose my belly.
So fat.
Yeah, so I want to lose that belly. I need a 6-pack or whatever.
Yeah.
What's the magic for food, or
yeah, there's no
what thing I should reduce? Should I stop eating white food or whatever?
Right. Yeah. So there's no magic pill, potion, or powder to help you lose weight. And if somebody is marketing that to you, they're probably just trying to take your money. I will say that.
Okay.
So be careful. So when it comes to losing body fat, yes, you do need to think about things like a calorie deficit, right? Trying to eat, ideally maybe like 200 to 300 calories less than you typically do. However, I personally, as a dietitian, I don't advocate counting calories because that just gets a little too
technical, and
exactly.
Yes, like it's a science behind it. You gotta.
Yes, exactly.
It's not a fun day for you to be like, oh, what's in there?
No.
Like, let me read the label and see.
Exactly. And I always tell my people, like, whatever we're doing nutritionally, I want to see you do this now in 5 years and 10 years. If you don't see yourself counting calories at age 60, don't start now. You know what I mean? But just kind of, what was I saying? Sorry, I forgot.
For fat loss.
For fat loss.
I got you.
Most
You're having fun. It's
important
okay.
thing- yeah, most important thing, like start with your beverages. Think about what am I drinking? If you're drinking a lot of juice, if you're drinking a lot of soda, if you're adding tons of sugar to your coffee, sweetened beverages are like one of the number one areas where we're getting added sugars and added calories in our diet. So if you can start with that, maybe you replace a soda for a bottle of water. Maybe you replace, 2 sugars for just 1 in your coffee. Those little changes will add up over time. And then think about your overall diet, like where again can I get more fiber? Not only does fiber help with all those things I mentioned, but it helps with weight management. So it helps to satiate us, it helps to fill us up, so we don't crave at 2 o'clock in the afternoon to go to the vending machine and grab things, right? So having enough fiber, having enough protein at your meals will help you feel more sustained, so you're not kind of grabbing throughout the day.
Definitely. Love it.
Yeah.
Now in the Caribbean, I grew up where lunch was my main meal, and I still do it. I believe in it. It's worked for me for many years. If you wonder my age, I'm up there. It's okay. Hint, hint. But it's worked for me, and I feel good because I've tried to eat at nights, and it didn't go well. I can't sleep. I toss and turn. Sometimes I puke. It comes up. Because it's like I can't. Correct.
Yeah.
What do you think of that? Because I know in the U.S., in America, that's the main prime time dinner. That's the big meal.
Correct. And there are a lot of countries, especially in the Caribbean, in South America, where lunch is like that primary meal. And when we think about, especially with digestion, especially with hormonal conditions, things like diabetes, there are studies to show where if you kind of shorten that window of eating time, it just helps to balance your circadian rhythm, your hormones, and it can help kind of with fat loss too. So not to say that you have to make lunch the bigger meal, but just trying to eat a little bit earlier can be helpful too. So even if you eat before like that 7, 8 o'clock, not that you can't eat after that time, I want to be very clear about that, but there are some benefits.
Right. Now, if I'm on vacation, I do eat late. Yeah. But I stay up late. So if I eat at 7, if I know I'm going dancing or out for a walk, I go to bed at midnight. Exactly. I feel better because I know I burn off everything I ate. So.
Exactly. And you help with the
Yes.
process. So yeah, you never want to eat and just lay down because it will, gravity will do its thing. Things will repeat on us, right?
Yes.
So you want to give yourself at least an hour to 2 hours from the time you eat before you put your head on the pillow.
Love
Stuff
it.
like that. Yeah.
All right, let's have fun. What's your favorite fruit?
Favorite fruit?
Yeah.
I have so many.
I know there's
So
like,
right now,
yes.
because it is summer, right? And so certain things are in season. I would say white flesh nectarines are my favorite
okay.
right now, and then obviously watermelon right now,
Okay.
it's in season. And then I love blackberries. Those are my top 3.
All right. So all year round, probably blackberries. All year round.
All year round blackberries. I eat a banana and an apple every day.
Every day.
What I do. Yeah.
You heard that? The apple and the banana every day.
Every day.
What does the apple do? The old saying, keeps what?
The doctor away.
Keeps the doctor away.
Yeah.
So I guess it's working.
Yeah.
Love it. Do you think there's a correlation between what we eat that help us with stress, anxiety, and because nowadays stress is all time high, anxiety is all time high.
Yeah.
Is there food that could help, or things we could do, or whatever we could drink to help us with that?
Yeah. So when it comes to like anxiety, depression, stress, and all of that, food is directly linked, right?
Wow.
So we have to remember that our gut is like our second brain, right? So all of the serotonin and those neurotransmitters, they're not made in our brain, they're made in our gut. So if we're not fueling correctly, it can impact, those connections there. And we know that research has shown us that things like B12 and B6 tend to be lower in people with anxiety and depression. So not to say
B12, B6.
B12 and B6. So it's not that we need to just go out and buy the supplement. Start to think about where can I get those through my foods. B12 and a lot of our protein sources, right? So your chicken, your fish, things like that. Even nutritional yeast, which I use almost every day. Nutritional yeast is a rich source in all the B vitamins, and it's a non-animal source. So I just kind of sprinkle that everywhere on my veggies, on my eggs, things like that. And it's an easy way to get those B vitamins. In addition, a lot of people skip meals, right? A lot of people will grab a coffee for breakfast, maybe get to lunch, go long hours without eating, then snack.
Right.
And a lot of those anxieties can be confused for irregular blood sugar, right, throughout the day. So if we have a good breakfast that's protein and fiber rich, you're going to feel more in control and more stable, regardless as to what's happening in your lifestyle. So what you eat first thing in the morning can really dictate how your day is going to look. Yeah.
That's what I heard they saying. Breakfast is one of the most, or the, some cases, important meal
of the day. Yeah.
So it sets your tone, it sets your mood.
It sets the mood, it sets your digestion, your blood sugars, so you just feel more stable throughout the day.
Now, I grew up, for me, the first thing I ever do is water, room temperature. I love room temperature water. Anywhere I go to restaurants, people laugh at me.
Yeah.
Everybody knows me, who's been around me, all my staff, they laugh when I go to restaurants. I'm like, water, no ice, please.
Yeah.
And then someone look at me like, who's this foreign guy?
Yeah.
But I love it. I feel good. But that's the first thing I put in my body. Is that okay? Like, before anything, just water.
Totally. You definitely want to hydrate first thing. That's something I do as well. So
excellent.
Water when I first wake up. So we have to remember we have fasted while we sleep. And in that time, we haven't given our body fuel. We haven't given it water. So when we wake up, we are dehydrated. So it's important to have water first thing in the morning. And then you can have your meal, your breakfast. And if you are a coffee drinker, just keep in mind, I would put that after the meal, right? What happens when we drink coffee on an empty stomach, which I know is very popular, it actually causes rises in our cortisol levels, and that can affect our blood sugars. So it can kind of throw us on a roller coaster, affecting our mind throughout the day if we do that. So water first, then your meal. If you're doing coffee, save it for the end.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to go to Bermuda for a little bit. Hello, Bermuda again.
Yay.
So if you're wondering where Bermuda is, it's not really in the Caribbean. It's an island,
yes,
but it's in the middle of the Atlantic, between probably Africa and America.
Yeah.
So smack in the Atlantic. What's Bermuda's national dish? Yes.
Ooh, yeah. So we actually eat what's called codfish and potatoes. And
Codfish. Okay.
Codfish, yeah. So salted cod
Yep.
or bacalao. So we have that for breakfast. So we'll have the salted cod just kind of boiled, and obviously salt taken out. Boiled potatoes, fresh avocado, fresh banana, not plantain, actual
Right.
banana.
Actual banana, yeah.
Yeah.
The green bananas.
We actually do the yellow.
The yellow, the ripe one,
Yeah.
the sweet one. Okay.
Yeah, but we have baby ones
Right.
out there. Yeah. And then on top of the fish, you've got like two schools, either a fresh tomato sauce or a butter sauce that you put on top. And that's like a standard Sunday breakfast that everybody does like after church.
Which sauce do you prefer, personally?
Both.
You like both?
I'll
Okay.
do both. Yeah.
All right.
A little butter and tomato sauce. Yeah.
Fantastic. Good national dish. Kind of similar to St. Lucia's national dish.
Yeah.
Yeah, same fish, the codfish, saltfish.
Yeah.
But we use boiled green bananas.
Okay.
And the little vegetables like tomatoes and little peppers sauteing and stuff. Yeah.
Just like that
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's our national dish, kind of similar.
Mm-hmm.
Now Jamaica, is it jerk or ackee and sawfish is the national dish? Jamaica, I don't know. I'll come for you next because I know jerk is popular
Very.
and ackee and sawfish is big.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna ask the Jamaican next time I see Jamaican, what's the national dish?
Yeah.
What's the most unique food you've eaten in your life? Like some people eat pigtail, or in Trinidad, I know chicken feet is popular.
Yeah.
Or pig feet, whatever. Like there's so many pigtails.
Yeah.
So the Caribbean, they eat everything. Like same as St. Lucia. Like the blood pudding, big in England, Ireland, actually in the UK. What's the most unique, interesting scorpion? I don't know. Tell us. Escargot.
So in my undergrad, so my first degree is in biology.
Biology.
Yes.
Wow.
So I was pre-med, took some nutrition courses, fell in love, and then that was that. Went that route. I was like, love, yeah. So anywho, in my, I think it was in my entomology class, which is the study of like bugs, basically.
Right.
At the end of that class, like we were able to try like crickets and chocolate covered like roaches and things like that.
Wow.
So I had like cricket pizza. It was like crickets on top, and yeah, I ate that in undergrad.
Cricket.
Yeah, they were just like really crunchy. So good source of protein.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you find you like nothing happened to your body.
Yeah. But in certain cultures, like that is normal. You know, they eat bugs and it's a great source of protein. And there's actually like newer like food science research looking at turning crickets into like protein powder and protein sources because it's a sustainable way to source protein. So,
Wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Cricket pizza.
Yeah. You weren't expecting
No, that's I mean I've heard of escargot and brain and like
oxtail.
Yeah, oxtail and bone marrow and the crickets. Wow, I mean in China they eat everything. And, we won't go there. Everybody knows.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So if I had to ask 3 of your best, closest people in your life, one word to describe you, what would they say? One word to describe you.
One word.
Yes.
I would hope they would say caring.
Caring.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's deep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because I all like if you're in my circle, for life, anything you need, I'm there for you. That includes my clients too. So. Yeah.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, of course.
What would be the top probably 3 meats out there for protein?
Top 3 meats?
Meats, yeah, for protein.
I mean, I personally like salmon.
Salmon, okay.
Yeah. Why? It's rich in omega-3 fats, which are anti-inflammatory. They're great for brain health, great for hormone health. And then I would say just as an easy protein, right? Chicken, because most people eat that. It's still a good source. Right. And then my favorite would be sardines. They're inexpensive. They're rich in omega-3s. Like 1 can gives you like a whole day's worth of omega-3 fats. And if you get them with the bone in, they're rich in calcium, which is great for bone health. So sardines would be my number one.
Love it.
Yeah.
And number one vegetable. Okay, I'll give you three top vegetables.
Three top
Okay, I give you 3 meats.
Okay, 3 top veggies.
Yeah.
Let's see.
You're like, I love them all, so I can choose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm making it tough for you.
Like choosing a child.
Correct. I'm making you choose today. Tough love.
All right, I do love cabbage.
Cabbage.
Okay. The reason why I love cabbage, again, inexpensive. It lasts a long time, right? So you get a lot of use out of it. It's very versatile. And it's rich, especially the purple cabbage, in anthocyanins, which are anti-inflammatory. Also, it is that cruciferous vegetable, so it's rich in fiber. For hormones, it helps with hormone detoxification. So it also supports the liver because it's rich in sulforaphanes, which help to support liver detoxification too. So cabbage would be one. I also love kale. That's like one that I grew up eating. Again, a lot of the same benefits as cabbage. Quite versatile. You can stew it, make it into kale chips, throw it in a salad. I like that. And then another one, my favorite vegetable is asparagus. So that's one I eat every single week.
Asparagus.
Yes. And again, rich in prebiotic fibers. So prebiotic fibers actually help to feed the good bacteria in our gut. They're also good resistant starch. So they're great for kind of rebuilding your gut microbiome. And I just think they taste good. So there's that.
Love it. I'm going to pick your brain. One of your favorite vegetables.
Yeah.
Asparagus. Does it mess with everybody's urine if you pee? Everybody?
I mean, most people.
Most people. Because I used to eat asparagus, I'm like, man.
Yeah, but I'm just like, you know what? It's detoxifying. It's going out.
Because I never knew that. And I realized, I'm like, what did I eat? Like,
yes, the asparagus. But it is a natural diuretic, which is great. Plus, it's great fiber for our gut, so you do get really good benefit from it. Just, yeah. A little side effect.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
If you had the power to change anything in the nutrition world, whether it's at schools or in the world, what would that be? Or you want to shift it in somehow?
Yeah, I would just say more education. And I think if I could take a big hammer and just crash through diet culture, I think there's so much noise when it comes to nutrition that is not sound in evidence. Do this diet, take this pill, you know what I mean? And it really takes advantage of people and their pockets, and it's not in their best interest. So if I could take a big hammer and just kind of knock diet culture out the window and then focus on good quality education, starting in the school settings, right? Because we don't learn how to eat in school. Yes, I went to school in Bermuda. It wasn't like we had home ec and things like that.
Correct.
Cooking, but I didn't learn about the science of nutrition until undergrad, and I often take for granted how much I know when I'm counseling clients and asking them questions. And, there's just
so much about that we can learn.
Yeah.
And you just opened my mind up, and I love it. You brought that up. I got a little chill because I believe in education. I believe in teaching, showing, growing. But it makes sense that if we start from young to learn, because at home, then your parents have time to teach you. I mean, you can learn on your own nowadays, but if it's taught like a class in schools, it makes it easy, correct, for everybody. And it's powerful. It helps the kids with studying, with feeling good, being active. They don't get sluggish. They don't show to your teachers or principals, if you're listening, or the people in power for education. The kids come to class.
Or they're jittery.
Correct.
They crash. Yeah.
Wow. I love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Yeah. One by one, we believe, especially Courtney, you can make that change happen in schools. So start teaching our future generation.
And it's a science, just like biology, just like chemistry. It is a science.
I love it. All right, we're running out of time. I'm enjoying this topic. We're going forever. We're just getting started.
So
there might be a part 2 with this young lady. I'm loving it. Before we leave, do you want to share any final words for the viewers, for kids, for anybody who might want to be a nutritionist?
Yeah.
like you and stuff like that. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, it's definitely doable. I will say to be a dietitian, it does take a lot of science courses. So we basically do as much science as like a physician. It is very rigorous, but it's very interesting. So if you're passionate about food and healing, it's definitely a great career. And just like with physicians, how you have like different specialists, right? You might go to see a podiatrist for your feet, a cardiologist for your heart. Nutrition is like that too. We have specialists in pediatrics, specialists in oncology. Like myself, I specialize in PCOS, diabetes, right? So there's so many areas to navigate, and it's such a huge topic, and there's so many different avenues that you could take advantage of. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
And any final words for the viewers to tell them eat clean or?
Yeah, just go get some water, drink some more water, and just put down the sweetened drinks. If that's all you can do, you're on the right track. And give yourself some grace. It's not about eating perfectly. You know what I mean? If you're adding one extra vegetable today or having one apple today, you're doing something good for your body. So it's just those small changes make a huge difference.
Thank you, Courtney.
Of course.
Very much appreciated.
Yeah.
Viewers, thank you for vibing with Mr. Marvelous and Courtney. And remember, be marvelous.